All right, first lesson, move it away from my face. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Media Post. I don't do these a lot. I used to be on the client side. I'm sorry, I used to be on the media side. I've been on the client side the last couple of years and did a lot more of that. I find most of my time now is my clients are agents and brokers. So what I've got up here is Unstoppable Starts Here. It actually isn't our consumer-facing slogan. I put that up there because a lot of people get confused about RE/MAX, or they think we're in the business to buy and sell houses, and we're not. We're actually a global franchise. So our business model is to acquire agents, retain agents, and sell franchises. So it's a little weird for me being over in the media and creative for North America in that I ladder up to the business goals of that, but I'm doing consumer-facing, a brand campaign. So there's ways that you tie it back into how I helped agent growth and sell more brokerages, but at the end of the day, I'm still a brand and still advertising there. So a little bit on us. One more slide here. Clicking to the right, guys. There we go. Thank you. So where are we? We're global franchise. We're in 110 countries. We have 7,000 offices and 140,000 agents. And our success, and I'll get into the video strategy here, we're able to make these claims now that we use in our advertising to differentiate. So we're able to say that nobody in the world sells more real estate than RE/MAX, that we're most productive agents. We're number one in brand awareness in the US and Canada, and a couple other things there that we're really proud of, but we have to absolutely substantiate those. The big one right now that we're using is we've been voted most trusted real estate agents. That's super important. We got it in Canada and in US in the last 2 years because, as everyone knows, even as a consumer, what you're going through right now is it's the biggest decision probably you're ever going to make in your life, biggest financial, I guess, besides deciding to marry your partner. And so if you can say that in your claims, fantastic, right? Well, okay, now I went right, guys. Should I go left? Left. Apologies. All right, I gotcha. So let's get into the video. So the shifts in the viewing behavior, I'll make no qualms about it. We built our brand on linear TV. We started back in 1999. We created a national ad fund. We got to the size large enough in the US where we're able to say to everyone, aggregate your dollars together. We are going to do national television advertising, and that's mostly what we did, and it worked really well up until about 2010, and I'll show you at the end where we started testing and learning. But I give it all the credit, you know, and I think it did an absolutely great job. But as we all know, we've seen from Dave, fantastic, on the fragmentation, it's occurring rapidly. And so we had to shift. And I'm going the wrong way again. Hold on. So what you see here is part of that shift and the reason. So that traditional viewing, especially since COVID, is just going down in linear, right? It's now projected to be 67 million households. CTV is going up to 99 million. You see the breakout there on your right? Yes, you're right. Where those viewership is going. By the way, I had to ask the agency what the other was. That's like a Tubi and a Crackle. But you can see that migration of viewers. Left button. Did I get it? All right. And for a couple years there, what we were doing the last couple years, we could say, well, some of us as brands would say, you could argue, yeah, you know, I'm still doing linear because I know that these people, they're starting to watch some of their shows on stream, and I still can reach them in linear. It's all right, right? That's not the case anymore. If you look at this right here, you really have to do both to get that mass reach that you used to get in linear that we did back in the 90s. 46% is the example here that weren't watching linear are just watching through connected TV. And one of the beauty things that are happening now just in the last few years is that as that viewership and that inventory, it's accessible now to all of us, right? It used to be, I mean, no pun intended here, but that it wasn't the best inventory, right? The jab against CTV was, it's kind of crap, there's no premium. Well, you just can't say that anymore. So Disney Plus, Netflix, or just some of the last ones that are coming in, but like through Dave and others, you can get good premium inventory. So the shift is absolutely there. And if you're a brand, if you're an agency, obviously you're following this. I'm going to point at the TV from now on. And then some advertisers that maybe are just starting to do it. Why are they doing it? The three things here we found, I think this is eMarketer, is 56% say it's that precision targeting we can get in connected TV. 43% says, you know, it helps me achieve my brand awareness and marketing. And then what I also talked about is if you really want, you know, scale now and to get that extended reach, that's the other reason. And we're seeing the spend go up. The one I didn't know here was the spend, $31.7 billion they're talking about next year in connected TV. And just a couple years later, it's up another $15 billion. So that's the shift in viewership. Let's talk about the evolution of measurement. So you can have more inventory, you can have more scale, but what are the results? What's happening? This is a bit of an eye chart. This is Tombras, our media agency that does this for us. This is their proprietary system. But the point here really is, now that we've got, everyone, you know, has a lot of data, but what do you do with the data, right? How do you make sure that everything that's coming in is helping you do more better data-driven decision, buying, planning, optimizations? So with their example here is they've got their data sources that they're ingesting along with our first party. They're putting in the advanced audiences. Essentially for us, we're doing people-based buying now. So we're not doing demo-based buying, we're doing people-based. And so through the planning and the buying and the measurement, you can see the different things that are going on there. We're able to, what our previous discussion was around, we know true reach across all of our video, because all the video is coming in. We know our true frequency, all the things that truly is a video everywhere strategy. So it's exciting, and it's me being a media geek that enjoys seeing this kind of things. We'll not explain these charts because it's their dashboard, but the point being here and then is, now that we have this, we're really empowered more and more to see everything in one place and hold our linear and our digital partners accountable. So all the data is coming in, it's in a nice dashboard. You can quickly, easily, and accessibly access it, see what's going on, empower yourselves and your agency to ask questions, and then to go back to your different partners. But you know everything holistically. And then on top of a lot of things that Tombras is doing for us, as a company, we do additional things that are more than just the media strategy, but overall. So I just threw some of these in there. It might be stuff you don't care about as much, but for me, it helps me as the leader of that group to really understand everything else, that I can point back to my leadership and say, we use Ipsos to tell us what I mentioned up front is, did we keep our awareness levels high enough? We use Ipsos to say, I know we're doing great overall, but what are we doing in Gen Z and millennials? That's where I can see that, you know, we're down in the 50%. If I could get that to 60%, so we're adding that into our KPIs and our goals, and then we're looking at that. MMR helps us substantiate our claims. We have to say these things in advertising, but we have to prove them. So MMR justifies that we really can make those claims. We can use them in our ads because you guys know, linear and the other will come after you. They're like the mafia if you don't get your claims right and you just throw stuff out there. Canvas 8, we do a future real estate study. So the point of that is now we go out and we ask our consumers, and we do both in the US and Canada, several thousand people, and we say, what are you looking for in an agent to buy or sell real estate? We can marry that up with our media, with our creative, with our franchise, recruitment, our sales, etc. And then we do some more of the traditional things that hopefully, if you can afford it, please do it. And there are more efficient ways to do it, but testing your campaigns before you buy, before you produce, that's what Camping King, our creative agency, is doing. And still, media mix modeling in Tombras, still a fundamental important thing to know the attribution, what one channel does to another, what the media mix overall is. So still the fundamental things are important as well. All right, last section, future video. And by the way, please approach me. If I'm getting this wrong and you say this is, I do need to hear from you. Sometimes I'll talk to one person, I'll stick in that corner, but come tell me if I get something wrong or if you have any advice for us at RE/MAX. We always want to learn. Because this one maybe is a little controversial for some of us, but I would contend that live sports is probably that last big tentpole for linear. And what's going to happen when that goes away? How many of the consumers are going to say, now I'm no longer tethered to watching that? On the left, you see who used to have the live sports. And on the right, you guys know this, you read the trades or you're part of it, they're all paying big chunks for live sports. And so there's that next shift that's coming. In fact, the NBA in 24 and 25 is probably the last real big one. That's coming up. So who buys that and who watches it is going to be really interesting, or how they watch it, I guess, and then how do we advertise to them. My father-in-law is just switched to YouTube TV. He's 84 years old, but they have Sunday Ticket coming. He's like, have you heard about this YouTube TV? He's from Nashville, and I'm like, yes, sir, I have. It was fantastic. That's my one impression for the day. Now, I would say this other part, as an industry, it's great, right? So now we have more scale. We have measurements better in CTV. Inventory is there. I think one of the beauties still remains of linear TV is you actually knew when your spot was going to run, where it was going to run, what program it was on. Getting to that point in CTV, we're probably like, my agency tells me about 70% there with providers, but we need to be 100% there. So knowing all of those things in connected TV would be fantastic, and it says it there, more data, more optimizations. And then this is my full disclosure slide. Nope, I'm wrong, one more. A lot of media there. The next thing is, well, for us at least, we're testing this with Clinch, is DCO. So we've talked about this for years. I think finally the technology is catching up with what we want to do. But being able to, push the envelope in creative now, where, okay, it's still a 30-second spot, but through the different data and engagement points that are coming in, is customizing that commercial, right? For that one person, that one-on-one personalization. And we're there. We're starting that in second quarter. Honestly, it's display and then it's going into video. We're paying a lot of money to build our own repository of pictures and ads and that we can feed the machine here. But we're excited about this too. Okay, maybe I went one too many. I did have, there we go. This is my reveal. So this is Remax in what our history has been in video. So literally testing and learning, failing and learning, repeating. I challenge ourselves and our agency to do this. No, we didn't start in video in 2010. Like I said, it was 1999. But really in that 2010, if you were around here long enough, Dave and I were, at the upfronts, they started offering you, well, there's this abc.com, the cbs.com, right? And Hulu when they first purchased. You got to get in there and you got to test and you learn. And you see some of these things worked, some of these didn't. But we're all the way up to the point now in 2023 that we are testing Disney Plus. Netflix was too much. I'll be honest, Netflix was probably 60% more. Didn't do the measurement things you want to do as much as Disney Plus did. YouTube TV we're doing. And then ironically, the last one I'll end you with is March Madness. What's kind of different about this is it used to be your tent pole on linear. We're going to buy it all live streaming. And I know there's waste in it, right? Kind of like I always knew in linear, but we're doing this because it gets our agents excited. It gets, the consumers see it, and maybe there's some that I don't want to reach. But it's kind of now our tent pole, and I can be in every single game through the championship. I could never afford that on linear. And I can actually, reach the right people that I want to reach. All right. Lisa's not up here, so I got to show my creative, okay?
Oh, good.
Is she up here?
I'm over here.
Okay. I heard. Thank you. All right. So real quick, we'll just show you some spots, and then I'll get out of your way here. The campaign is really twofold. So we learned that, in this buying process, it was part of that future real estate study, is that people, it's a very emotional, traumatic, stressful experience, and they really do look for that person to lead the right way. So our tagline for consumers is, the right agent can lead the way. But one of our ways that we broke off is very emotional spots and demonstrating that through everything, our agent is the hero. So the first couple you'll see are that. It's just the 30s, but we did long form. We did long form, a minute and a half across our different owned assets. And then the second part we found in our research is that there's just a lot of questions, and you probably have this as consumers, and what's going on in the market. And the point being there is we bring in our RTBs, that nobody in the world sells more real estate, most trusted, because we can actually answer those questions for you. And hopefully this works. If we could turn it up.
Give me a lot to think about, I know. It's been a long time. Yeah.
Can't see it.
I'm ready for it. Yeah. Well, I know moving is hard, but I'm just really excited for you guys.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Rosie, you okay, honey?
I'll let them know you accepted the offer.
Actually, the long
Alex,
form,
we are
sorry.
so excited.
You know, there are kids on our street that go to your new school.
Hey, Alex,
Hey, Chase. I'm gonna swing by and drop something off for Rosie.
come on by.
All right. See you in a minute.
Hey, Rosie. Alex thought you might like this.
And so she journeyed across the sky, never to stop nor even try.
I think you're gonna want to see this.
Let's go see your room.
All right, so that was the long form, apologies. I think we got rid of the link of the shorter ones, but you get the point. We'd cut that down to 30, there's 2 of those. But that's my time, so questions?
Do you have any questions? I actually do, though.
Oh, come on.
When you have a long video like this, and because you were talking also about how you really like to test, you want to have attribution, you want to really go through that, but you're a bigger agency, a bigger brand, bigger budget. I speak with a lot of people who don't necessarily have that kind of money. Is there a way to test with other channels that can then work? Because each channel has its own personality, and it's very difficult to say, okay, it's going to work here, and then we know it's going to work there. Is there a way that you're able to do that that's a little bit more efficient, that you can still do the testing and still be more secure in where you're investing, but at the same point not have to continue to have the expense of all of that testing? So especially with a longer format like this,
Yeah.
and then others are, oh, it's only short, attention span is so short. Like, it's just, you know, you hear
Yeah.
so many different options.
Well, and that's why I screwed up there, because I wanted to just show the short form. But we changed the deck at the end there. So those are just shown across our own assets. And a lot of that helps us being, a franchise, is we do that to get our agents excited to stay with us. We do that to franchise people to want to join. They get a real taste for the brand. Consumers just seeing that across our YouTube. We cut those down to 30 seconds. We'd be more traditional. We have other ones, the faster pace, the more hot head-thinking ones are 6 seconds, 10 seconds. We create then different ones on TikTok and YouTube and those types of things. So definitely, yeah, that's not a good example. When we did this last year, we got down to a 60, and we ran those with Simul Media, and we were on, that way. But normally we don't even run something that long. We just happen to have some additional funds.
Got it.
Yeah.
Anyone else have a question? Oh, I think I saw. Oh, was that your hand? Okay. All right, great. Well, thank you, Stuart. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.